Now we come back again to playing It's News to Me. We have a pretty good record so far tonight, panel. I just trust that you can keep going. You've only messed up one so far. Let's see what we can do, and let's have our next studio representative on It's News to Me. This is Virginia Mulrine, is it?
Mulrine.
Mulrine. Miss?
Mrs.
Mrs. Where are you from, Mrs. Mulrine?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, yes. You know how to play the game. You heard me explain the rules.
I heard the rules.
There are the $20. You all ready for your first question?
I hope so.
Well, a little while ago, the members of the panel had a chance to examine these medals. Now, you get a look at them, you see? They're nice?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, the man who wears them was given an unusual present in Rochester, New York this week, and was serenaded with Old Soldiers Never Die. Do you know the story, Quint Reynolds?
Yes, I was at a dinner given to General MacArthur by Frank Gannett, the owner of the Gannett string of papers, one of which is in Rochester. He was given those medals, but a more touching present. He was given every recording ever made of his theme song, Old Soldiers Never Die.
Do you accept that answer, Mrs. Ryan?
Yes.
You do? Awful sorry. I heard all over it when I had to do that. No, actually, it was a very tough question. Anybody have any idea where these might come?
Wasn't the last of the Civil War old gentleman who celebrated his 111th birthday, was it?
Absolutely right,
It
Anthony.
was?
Yes, it was. The medals belong to the nation's oldest soldier, Civil War veteran James A. Hart of Rochester, New York, and he celebrated his 111th birthday on July the 15th. Isn't that wonderful? He was expecting a birthday present of 1,000 cigars, and he's got only one fault to find with the world today, and he's got to cut down smoking. Got to only have 4 cigars a day at 111 years of age. Wow. All right, now for our newsman's question of the week, and this one is from Dwight Newton of the San Francisco Examiner. Take a look at our screen, if you will. This man found reason to smile this week when he got some good news from a rich uncle. Can you tell us about it, Martha Scott?
Well, I should think he should smile. He is the Aga Khan's nephew, and he will inherit the Aga's titles and fortune because Ali, when he married Rita, violated a Muslim law, and by Rita's not becoming a Muslim, you see, so that Ali loses the whole thing.
Do you accept that answer, Mrs. Mulrine?
Yes, I do.
Oh, do wish you had.
It looks like he was related to him. That's the only reason.
He does. As a matter of fact, that's why we've got that picture there. 'cause
That's
he
what I
does
was
look
afraid
like
of.
It's Yugoslav dictator Marshal Tito. And the uncle, rich uncle, was Uncle Sam. This week they decided that he should have some heavier armament. We're going to give him some artillery and jet planes because
I've never seen Tito without a lot of uniforms.
That's a new hat, yes. We didn't buy him the hat, though. We just got the picture. Well, let's see what we can do with another question. You still got 2 questions. Still got nothing to worry about.
Money.
All right, for this next question, let's watch and listen to Frank Wayne as a delegate to the Chicago Convention.
Mr. Chairman, I demand to be heard. My name is Humphrey G. Swingendrab, and I am a delegate from Afabova. And I have this to say, sir, that the very air we breathe is tainted. Yes, sir, I rise up here to say that the temperature in this convention hall is not only insufferable, it's unconstitutional. I repeat, it's unconstitutional. I act by my hand thermometer. It is now 78 degrees where I sit, and I say that this meeting should be adjourned until it reaches 110.
And the Right Honorable Delegate from Afro has made his position very clear. Can you tell us what the story is, Mel Allen?
That story is about in the recent convention in Chicago, in the amphitheater in the Stockyard district where they had their convention. The amphitheater was air-conditioned. However, there was a law against it because of some problem involved as to the people that put it in, that instituted it. And the Republicans went on anyway and decided they were going to have the air conditioning because of the great humidity. Then the Democrats came along and decided they weren't going to have it at their convention coming up this week. And finally it was decided that though they wouldn't give it official approval yet, they weren't going to turn it off. They're going to still leave the air conditioning on.
You accept that answer, Mrs. Mulrine?
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, that one's got so much truth in it and so much untruth in it, I'm just going to say you're right. You're $5. No Solomon me, that's a cinch. Actually, Mel's got a lot of it right. They did put air conditioning in for the Republican convention. And in this intervening week between the Republican and the Democratic convention, they found out that it was put in illegally because the National Production Authority did not issue the necessary authorities for the steel and other materials that went into the building of the air conditioning. But they're not going to take it out, and the Democrats are going to have it there because the government agency is going to let the cooling system go on. In fact, they don't quite know what to do about it. It's all been built in. All right?
The weather's like it is here. They should leave it in.
They will, I hope, because I won't go back to Chicago tonight if they don't. All right? For our next question, let's take a look at that little tricycle over there. This vehicle made picture news all over the country this week when its owner permitted a friend to sneak a ride. Do you know the story, Anna Lee?
Yes, John, I seem to remember seeing a picture of that tricycle being borrowed by a very famous grandfather who shared a ride with his little grandson, Dwight D. Eisenhower II.
You accept that answer, Mrs. Mulrine?
Yes.
You do. Absolutely $5 richer. You feel better now? That's absolutely right. On his way from Denver to the Republican convention, General Eisenhower spent a day at Fort Sheridan, Illinois, I think it is, with his son's family. And while he was there, he stole a ride in the back of the tricycle. If you look up at our screen there, you can see the picture that appeared in newspapers all over the land, and we want to send a word of thanks to Mrs. John Eisenhower for allowing us to use her child's tricycle on its News to Me. And now a look at our scoring tells us that you have won from the Aluminum Company of America $20. Hope you had fun, too.
I did.
Nice
Thank
to have
you
you
very
with
much.
us. Bye-bye. Now it's time to meet tonight's eyewitness, a person who actually saw a famous news event take place. And panel, let's see how fast you can uncover the event by cross-examining our guest. You may question for 15 seconds at a time, but when the time bell sounds like this, then the next panelist will take up the questioning. If you beat our eyewitness and guess his news story within 3 minutes, he will receive $50. But if you don't guess the news story within the time limit, he beats you and receives $100. And now it's time to meet tonight's eyewitness, Mr. L.J. Ross. Will you come out, please? Mr. Ross? Now, all I want you to do right now, if you will, is to give us the month and the day of the event at which you were an eyewitness.
It was April 20th.
Before we get started, let's let our home audience know the event. But, panel, you have the month and the day, April 20th. You should be ready for your questioning. You, Quentin Reynolds, start now.
Did it happen during the 1940s?
No.
And during the 50s?
No.
During the 30s?
No.
During the 20s?
Actually, go back, 50s. Go ahead.
During the 50s?
Yes.
Oh, he said yes.
Yes.
Oh, in America?
Yeah.
All right, Miss Scott.
Was it an unhappy event?
Really, yes.
It was. It was in the United States,
Yes.
in the eastern seaboard,
No.
west of the Rockies?
No. Mr. Allen.
Did it have anything to do with transportation?
No.
Was it something of a political nature?
No.
Was it a celebration?
No.
Was this a disaster of any kind?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Did it concern a lot of people?
Quite a few.
Did it happen in the South? We haven't established that. have we?
Happened in the Midwest.
Yes.
You don't seem sure about it.
Well, we're reasonable.
Were airplanes involved in this?
No.
People were killed in it?
No, I don't think so.
One.
Yes, one.
Was it
All
a
right.
social event? A
No.
party?
Social event. No, no social event, Miss Scott.
Not social.
No.
Political?
No.
Religious?
No.
All right, Mr. Allen.
You said that it was a disaster.
In a way.
In a way.
Did it happen with a mechanical conveyance?
No.
Was it, did it have anything to do with the sports?
No.
All right, Miss
Was
Lee.
this a fight of any kind? I mean, not a sporting fight, but a...
There was a little fighting mixed up in it, I would say. There was a brawl of sorts, I would say. Wasn't there?
A large crowd was there?
Quite a large crowd.
In an open place?
No.
No, no open place. Mr.
You
Reynolds.
didn't see John Dillinger killed, did you?
No.
that was true.
Some criminal like on the lines of Dillinger?
Well, some.
Babyface Nelson or some of those fellas?
No.
A Midwestern
All
criminal?
right, Miss Scott.
Well, was it in Chicago?
No,
Kansas City?
no,
And it wasn't in sports.
no. All right, Mr. Allen.
Was it in Ohio?
No.
Was it in Michigan?
Yes.
And in Michigan, was it at any manufacturer?
Were policemen mixed up in this?
Well, sooner or later.
Was it a thing to do with justice? I mean, was a man killed in the course of justice?
Well, justice had something to do with it. It's a little hard to get around. Time is up. Sorry. We hung him up on this one. Now, you stay with me for a second. April 20th, 1952, Jackson, Michigan, the prison break that was all over the papers
lots
for days
of
and days.
policemen.
Lots of policemen, yes. And now, Mr. Ross, would you be good enough to tell us how you happen to be an eyewitness?
I'm chief steward at the Southern Michigan prison, and we were had just fed one side breakfast, and it started on the opposite side, which was the south side, and about 200 were in the dining room when this riot broke.
Well, now, what happened to you personally? Did they do anything to you?
Well, in the course of time, I stayed as long as I could. I was mussed up a little, but I got out okay.
Well, you don't look a bit mussed tonight, and thanks very much for coming to see us on this News to Me. Good night. Good to see you. Now let's have our next studio contestant on It's News to Me. How are you, sir? Come on in, sit you down. This is Richard J. Slesser. Where are you from?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, Illinois. Fine. Well, we haven't got too much time. You all ready for your first question?
Yes, sir.
First of all, you'd like to have $20 to play with?
Yes, sir.
There's your $20. First question goes like this. United Nations official was in the news this week because he told a lot of American millionaires where they could go. Could you tell us that story, Mel Allen?
Well, I'll tell it to you very quickly. There's a fellow by the name of Koshnik, I think it was, United Nations delegate, UNESCO, and he told them that they ought to go to Russia. All the millionaires should go there because there they had the lowest income tax rate for millionaires.
They had the lowest income tax rate for millionaires in Russia. Would you accept that answer,
No,
Mr. Slesser?
I wouldn't accept it.
You didn't want to accept that answer. That's too bad, because that's going to cost you fine. Oh, my. That hurts me. I'm awful sorry. Actually, I wouldn't worry about it, though, because I just had a look at the clock, and I see I don't have time to ask you these other three questions, and I know you'd get all the answers right. So, assuming that the answers are all right, there's only one thing we can do is $15 you made on that one, and thanks very much for coming to visit us. Good to see you. That's always fun. And so we wind up proceedings on tonight's session of It's News to Me. We hope the program has proved enjoyable and has sharpened your interest in the news. This is John Daly saying good night for Anna Lee, Mel Allen, Martha Scott, and Quentin Reynolds. And we hope we'll see you all again next week on It's News to Me.
It's News to Me has been presented by Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Produced in association with the CBS Television Network.